Hey everyone, I'm just going to introduce you to a new sort of member of the family. This is Harold. Harold was sent to me to sell, and I duly sold him quite quickly to a lovely lady called Ruth Armstrong, who, poor Ruth, is just relocating all her family down from Liverpool, and actually just emailed me out of the blue seeing if I might know of a horse that would suit her. And she came and tried Harold and she loved him and she bought him, but he's staying with me just while Ruth gets herself sorted and stuff. But he's such a lovely horse. He's a great big, gangly, tall, as you can see, he's absolutely massive, baby, who, he's 5. He's just going to do a couple of intros this autumn with me, then Ruth's going to do one to finish the year off, and then I'm hoping that I might be able to nick him a little bit next year, because he's absolutely gorgeous. He's what I would call a William horse, in that, you know, lovely big, tall, good moving bay horse. Probably a little bit ordinary as a young horse because they're tall and gangly and, you know, uncoordinated. But suddenly at 6 and 7 they come out and clear up and everybody's like, where the hell has William been hiding that one? So we're quite excited about Harold. As you'll probably see from his round, that bits of it are really, really good, and then he occasionally does a gangly jump. But actually he's just had one down the jump off, which, you know, and also it was a one-phase competition, which is where you keep going, so he's had to jump sort of 13 jumps. So I think he had about number 10 or 12 down. But, you know, he's jumped absolutely brilliantly, basically. And like I said, he's going to do a few intros, and I'm quite excited about him. He's a really nice horse. But for me, how I like my horses, he's a bit light of condition. But he's a bit like a teenage boy in that you feed them and feed them and feed them, and all they do is get taller. And suddenly when they hit 20, they go bulky. So at the minute I'm sort of feeding the weed and it's getting taller and not filling out. But hopefully, you know, over the winter he'll have a nice sort of bit of an easy time and he'll fill his frame out a bit. But he's, you know, he's just a prime example of a thoroughbred. He's, you know, thoroughbred like Gordon, but it's a complete opposite. Gordon's just a little ball of bouncy, pure jumper, and Harold is a pure jumper. He's a really good jumper, and you'll see through some great jumps, but he's still growing into his frame, and you can see he's absolutely knackered. He's like, I've just jumped 11 jumps, and I've just never done anything so tiring in all my life. And it's more mental for him, you know, because he's sort of physically trying to coordinate his body and think and lift his legs and turn and keep going. It just, you know, it sort of fries his brain. But he's certainly a horse that, you know, I'm quite excited about. And, you know, if I don't get managed to nick the ride as much as I want, he's a lovely horse for Ruth because he's a genuine sweetheart. She rides him really well. They get on really well. And he's a horse that would be an amateur's horse as well as a professional because he's basically a really nice guy.
Da poca picchita va bene, se tu la parla miezza americano, quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come da bene in capo di I love you, papà l'americano.
Everyone, hopefully I will make sure we put up Harold's spectacular nosedive into the water. He's really funny because he has been a bit spooky about water, but fine, and he's been absolutely fine about going down steps. But obviously going out the step into water was one, too much for his brain to work out, and far too scary. So luckily I was in balance enough not to, although he crumpled and went nearly under, I didn't pull him over, or I just sort of sat clinging on for dear life waiting to get very wet knickers, which I have got even though we haven't fallen. But you know, then I just went back and I just trotted in and out a couple of times, just like I've said before, just try and carry on like nothing's happened. And I stupidly went back to the exact same step, and he was a bit like, oh, I'm a bit scared, Mum. So I didn't get after him, I just worked my way round. Like, as soon as I felt it was going to be an issue, I went to a different part, because you've got to cut him a little bit of slack. He's a baby, and that would have been quite, I was scared, so let alone him. I knew what was going on. So then I went to another part of the step, and he was jumping stupidly big in, but that's fine, and he's got better and better, you know, and he's still jumping a bit stupidly big in, but it's quite manageable. And like now, I'm just standing in the water now, just giving him a chance, because bless him, he's just showing what a big baby he is.
Papà l'americano.
decanted for some more water. He's a little bit lucky, but that was understandable after what had happened. So he jumped ditches, and you know, he's a really, really lovely horse, and he is. I sound a bit like I'm giving all my horses excuses that in a year's time they're going to be lovely horses, but I genuinely think that, you know, he is a horse that will be such a sweetheart, and he's so genuine. Like, that's what hopefully you'll notice in the show jumping, is I quite like the horses just to have to think for themselves, and you know, just let them come to the jump, and whatever stride they're on, they've got to jump for themselves. Whether they have it down or not, it's irrelevant. It's just more the fact that they go to the other side, which he's very good about doing. You know, he's always got a sort of a nice look on his face, and yeah, so we like Harold, and like I said, he's doing the intro at Milton Keynes, and he's actually called Harold Small, so if you want to follow him. But yes, no, he's a sweetheart.